Hi, I'm Steph Ritz. Welcome to day 4 of our 10-day Stories That Sell video challenge. Today's question is, who were you 3 years ago? And for me, 3 years ago, I was the person who was willing to risk being seen. I had made a commitment to myself. I had paid $17,000 to be part of a year-long mastermind program with a coach that I had worked with for 3 years, as well as a new coach that were co-teaching this program. And we were about 5 months into the program when I realized that they weren't seeing me. They weren't hearing me. They really didn't understand what it is that I did. And a part of that is because of how we had met and the framework of their understanding. But the reality is that I didn't have the words to describe what I was doing. It was visionary. It was new. Even though I had been doing it for 10 years, it was still considered cutting edge. So how do you find the right words to describe something like that? And so instead of trying to tell them who I was, I asked to show them. I asked to be able to do a 10-minute talk where I just told a story. No call to action, no product descriptions, nothing. I just told a story from the day that I entered business and entrepreneurship into the current, as well as what was upcoming for me and what I was just excited about in life. And in that story, I wove in different things that had happened, like working with a client and watching her results, her reach go from around 200 to 200,000, or how I worked with someone and in 15 minutes he was able to enroll a $15,000 coaching program. So I just talked about, I did this thing with a client. It was really amazing work, and they were able to do this afterwards. And then it led me here to go do this project with this person that took me here and there and so on. And I told this story from the stage, and it really gave me the chance to be seen. For me to fully acknowledge myself. It was the first time I had stepped on stage and told my own personal story. Now, I did do theater work as a kid, and so I was used to being in front of a group, but I'd never shown up as me, Steph Ritz, talking about my life and my stories and who I am to the core. And it was kind of scary, to be honest. But I stepped off of that stage and I was invited to stay in Los Angeles for an additional week or 10 days or something like that, to stay at one of the coach's houses, and helped with one of the product design of a deep dive weekend. And at the same time spent that entire week or so that I was there doing follow-up. It really taught me the importance of follow-up. It wasn't just hanging out with people that I loved, though truly that was my altruistic goal and why I was there. I wanted to build a community. I had met so many amazing people, and the majority of them that I'd really connected with, they were all based in LA within an hour or two of where I was staying. And so we made dates on the spot, and 2, 3, sometimes even 4 people a day for a solid week. I did follow up, and I ended up converting about 30,000 for myself without ever making that pitch. At the same time, the coaches that I was working with, they closed a couple 100,000. So I couldn't be more happy for them and for myself, the amazing connections that I made, and then the people that became warm leads and just stayed around for years in my community after doing that talk. It was what I teach everyone else, what I say over and over: don't tell us, show us. And I had to fight to be able to even get on that stage, to face my own fears, but then to ask to be able to do it and with the coaches, to build in the time for me to do the stage. And immediately it was a yes. And when announced to the group, it was actually announced as a panel. And that was fantastic. That was one of the ideas I had and suggested. But what I meant was, let me tell a story that sells. Something that sold me naturally without me ever having to do the heavy lifting, the hard sales, the push, the plug, any of it. I just got to tell a story. So who were you 3 years ago? And I cannot wait to watch more of your videos. The ones that I've seen so far have been extraordinary. Thank you.